कृष्णं कलय सखी सुन्दरं कृष्णं कलय सखी सुन्दरं बालकृष्णं 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 कलय सखी सुन्दरं कृष्णं गतविषय कृष्णं कृष्णं गतविषय कृष्णं कृष्णं गतविषय कृष्णं जगत्प्रभविष्णुं सुरारिगणजिष्णुं सदा बालकृष्णं कलय सखी सुन्दरं कृष्णं गतविषय कृष्णं जगत्प्रभविष्णुं सुरारिगणजिष्णुं सदा बालकृष्णं कलय सखी सुन्दरं धीरं भव जलधिपारं धीरं भव जलधिपारं सकलवेदसारं समस्तयोगिदानं सदा बालकृष्णं कलय सखी सुन्दरं धीरं भव जलधिपारं सकलवेदसारं समस्तयोगिदानं सदा बालकृष्णं कलय सखी सुन्दरम् अर्थं शिथिलीकृतनत्थम् अर्थं शिथिलीकृतनत्थं श्रीनारायणतीर्थं परमपुरुषार्थं सदा बालकृष्णं कलय सखी सुन्दरम् अर्थं शिथिलीकृतनत्थं श्रीनारायणतीर्थं परमपुरुषार्थं सदा बालकृष्णं कलय सखी सुन्दरं 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 बालकृष्णं कलय सखी सुन्दरम्
ॐ नमः परमर्षिभ्यो नमः परमर्षिभ्यः हरिः ॐ अन्तरायतिभिरोपशान्तये शान्तपावनमचिन्त्य वैभवं तन्नरं वपुषि कुञ्जरं मुखे मन्महे किमपि तुन्दिलं महः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यस्यान्तर्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नामगोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो न नपुंसं न च स्त्री नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वरिशिष्ठान्ते वसदृषिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मारामम् उदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय यतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने अपार सच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयम्। हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रं ह्यहमहमिति साक्षादात्मरूपेण भाति। हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामुज्जता वा पवनचलनरोधाद् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजातायां स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। The present topic is to live in the world devoid of attachment and aversion. रागद्वेष वियुक्तैस्तु विषयान् इन्द्रियैः शरण्यम् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति. Shankaracharya says ragadvesha is the nature of the senses. Swabhaviki says in the Bhagavata Bhashyam. Swabhaviki means nature. Tatra yo mumukshuhu bhavati satabhyam viyuktaha. Without those two, raga and dvesha, shrotradibihi indriyehi vishayan, he enters the sensory objects. Bhashyakara adds one word, avarjaniyan, that which is not prohibited, that which is not prohibited by the sages, which is dharma. Charan, upalabhamanaha, atmavashyehi, atmano vashyani, vashibhutani indriyani. The senses are restrained, they are under perfect control. Thus, vidheyatma, according to his dharma, wherever he is put. There is a dharma for brahmachari, there is a dharma for grihastha, there is a dharma for vanaprastha, and a dharma for sannyasi also. So, like that, soyam prasadam adhigacchati. Prasadam means prasannata. This is the translation. And one more word, swasthyam. He puts swasthyam, swasthata, means to abide in oneself, to be completely at home. That is prasada. And when one has attained that state of prasada, manaf prasada, to keep the mind in that equipoise, that prasannata, is Bhagavan later on develops, later on tells in Gita that is the mental tapas, the manasika tapas, the tapas done by mind. What is the tapas? The innermost tapas is to keep always that state of equipoise. We see that is the most difficult thing. To be always at poise. All the stories of Bhagavatas, Bhaktas and Jnanis is about that equipoise only. Bhagavatam says Ambarisha was always prasanna. He was a king, rolling in wealth. Amidst so much wealth, he considered everything unreal and only Bhagavan as real. And Rishabhadeva was like that. Janaka was like that. They all were doing their duty in the world. They were very active, dynamic, but always calm. That calmness was inside, in their mind. So that is prasannata. By seeing that prasannata only, one recognizes a Jivan Mukta. Valmiki Ramayana, when Kaikeyi interfered in that Pattabhisheka and Rama's Pattabhisheka was obstructed, then Valmiki says Rama was, then also he was prasanna. And the word used is prasanna. And how was that prasannata? Prasannam udadhim yatha was like a deep ocean, rippleless, waveless ocean. He was prasanna. And the cause is Atma Jnana, nothing else. Atma Jnana. So, when one has attained that real peace of mind, that is actually a wrong word, because where there is mind, there is no peace. If peace is there, there is no mind. So when the mind is not, there is peace. Amani bhava. Mind means what? You carry some idea inside you. Just think about it. What is mind? Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says there is no mind. Upanishad says there is no mind. We ask how to attain that state that there is no mind. This question is like you misapprehend a rope as a snake. And an authentic person tells you there is no snake. And you ask how to attain that state where there is no snake. In talks you can see such a conversation where somebody is asking Bhagavan how to remove the ego. Bhagavan said it does not exist. Then he says, yes, in realization I know it is gone, but still how to remove it? Something must exist to remove it. Does not exist. That was Bhagavan's constant. So, how to remove it? Only Praman. If you have faith in Bhagavan, it does not exist means does not exist. That much conviction has to happen, and once that deepest conviction comes like this, that prasannata will be here and now. The world does not exist, body does not exist, mind does not exist. You cannot attain this state by meditation. Because when you meditate, you preconceive that it is there. You already give a reality to it and then try to transcend it. So Ashtavakra said, Ayameva hi te bandha. This is your bondage. What? Yet samadhi manutishthasi. You are practicing samadhi. This is your bondage, he said. So, see, that is the fact. That is the truth. Satyam, the truth, can be realized only by authenticity, pramana. That is the light by which you see. When a doctor tells you there is heart, We all believe, we have a heart. But have you, any one of you, seen your heart? I don't think even our doctor has seen his heart. Is it not a mere belief? It is written in the books. Books, how do you know the book is true? They have seen. Where when you cut the body of another person, but how do you know you have it? If we argue like this, nobody can answer. So it's all, you take that authenticity, authentic word, authority, pramana. So once you have that pramanika vachas, when you have faith, see, faith is the breath of Vedas. Faith is the breath of spiritual life. When you have faith in Guru, when faith dies, the sadhaka dies. When Shraddha perishes, Buddhinashat pranashyati. Yesterday I said Buddhinasha means right reasoning goes. But today I tell you, Shraddha is Buddhi. Hridayeshu Buddhihi. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shraddha Rupena Samsthita. Once that Shraddha is gone, you can have Shraddha in a stone, and the stone will teach you the highest Brahma Vidya. What to tell about a living master. If you do not have Shraddha, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi is not useful. Ramakrishna is not useful. Shankaracharya is not useful. Harir yadi upadeshtate. Ashtavakra says, even Vishnu comes useless. Shiva comes useless. Kamala Sambhavaha. Brahma comes and teaches you, the highest teacher of Brahma Vidya. No use. Because your brain is pramana for you. Your intellect is your authority. You have no Shraddha. You are not ready to surrender to the master. Then Brahma cannot be useful. Vishnu cannot be useful. Shiva cannot be useful. Harir yadi upadeshtade Shiva kamala sambhavaha tathapi na tava swasthyam. The word what we used is swasthyam. Swasthata. This verse I did not collect before. Now it comes. Exactly, it joins at the right place. Swasthyam. That swasthata. Prasannada will not come. Sarva vismaranadrite. Because when the Guru tells you that the ego is unreal, if you have faith in the Guru, you will forget the ego. See, many things when you forget, they lose their existence. Right? Last Janma, you have forgotten. They have no reality now. Somebody in your life, somebody tells you, he only brought you to Tiruvannamalai. I don't remember who is that. Somebody was there. I don't remember his name. Gone. Like that, why not forget yourself? Forget your individuality. That is self-enquiry. When you enquire the ego loses its reality, and ultimately, Vidyaranya Swami says, Ahankara Vismrityabhyasa. You can forget the ego. You can just ignore it and forget it. There the realization becomes complete. And somebody said, when you meet a real Guru, you naturally forget the ego. Ramananai kandavar tannai marappare. Satyamangala Venkataramanaya, great sage, he wrote, what happens when you meet Ramana Maharshi? Ramananai kandavar tannai marappare. When you see Ramana, you forget yourself. Your individuality is gone. When you meet, when your mind goes and touches the Atman, the I, the individual sense vanishes. The I sense vanishes. So, that is prasada. And the real prasannata is realization. Prasade, what happens? Sarva dukkhanam hanihi. All the dukkhas, miseries are wiped out. That is the goal of all the darshanas. Buddha left his kingdom in search of that state where one can be swastha. When health, we call it a swasthyam. Lakshmana Sharma has written, his very famous book is Nature Cure, about naturopathy. He has translated it into Sanskrit verse forms. There he gave the name Swadhina Swasthya Mahavidya. Swasthyam means naturopathy. According to naturopathy, it is complete wholesomeness. We can say that wholesomeness and that well-beingness, and that well-beingness through your own free intelligence. You are not depending on a doctor or a medical book or anything. So swadhinam means in one's own hand. Swasthyam means well-beingness. Mahavidya, the greatest knowledge. To be natural, to be peaceful, to be wholesome. Wholesome, then a correct word. Well-beingness, whole being. That is swasthyam. So prasade, when you attain that state, everything is harmonious. Then you attain that state, sarva dukkhanam hanihi. We have to dream that state. Dreaming that state is what next verse says, bhavana. Before attaining realization, you have a perfect concept about that realized state. Shankaracharya says that is mumukshutvam. Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan ajnana kalpitan swaswarupa avabodhena moktumicha mumukshuta. The longing for realization, freedom, is what? It means you know the body is not me, the mind is not me, the ego is not me. So right, ego is the innermost limitation. And body is the outermost limitation. Not concerned about outer things. There ends a sadhaka's prison house. He has to shuffle off that fetters right from the ego. The first identity is ego. The last identity is body. Just crystal clear. That is why it is called Viveka Chudamani, the crust jewel of discrimination. When you wake up from sleep, the first identity is ego, and it finishes its caricature in body. Then world is only an extension of it. So you have freedom in removing this anatma adhyasa, superimposition of anatma in atma. This body, mind, ego, prana, everything is adhyasta, superimposed. That must be removed. So raga hani asya upajayate. Hani means removal, erasing of what? Dukkha. Sarva dukkhana. What are the sarva dukkha? Dukkha of the body, dukkha of mind, suffering from body, suffering from mind. See, our relationship suffering is all from mind. You cannot touch another person. You cannot change another person. You have to start from the body and finish the job in ego. So bodily suffering, a little bit you can rectify through physical, medical help, dietic, arogya shastra. To the extent you can go, that extent you can go. That's all. Then comes the mind. Mind by yoga, by upasana. And ultimately jnana, the ignorance, the root cause is removed through jnana. So that is why the Ayurveda Grantha, Ashtanga Hridaya, begins with worshipping the Jnana Guru, not the Ayurveda Guru. Beginning there, Ashtanga Hridayakara says, Ragadi Rogan, our subject. No? He says Roga is not Kaphavata Pitta. He says Raga is the Roga. Attachment is the sole disease through which all other illnesses, sickness follows. So, Ragadi Rogan. And where is this Raga situated? Satatanushakatan. They are always attached to us. Ashesha Kaya Prasritan. Right from the hair, mudi, then to feet. This attachment is spread out. It pervades. When you take food, some hair is there. It is not mine. It is somebody else's hair. You see whether it is grey or dark. Right from that up to the feet, this raga, this attachment. Dog is biting the chappal. Is it mine? No. Okay. Bhagavad Gita, listening. Very calm listening. If it is my chappal, rush there and rescue the chappal from the mouth of the dog. Because right from the feet to the hair, everywhere this raga is there. Ashesha Kaya Prasritan Asheshan. And many moha, arati, everything, so many kind of sufferings come from that disease, that root cause. This roga is removed by one Vaidya, and that Vaidya is Apurva Vaidyaya Namoha. That Vaidya is Apurva Vaidya, that primordial physician who is unlike anyone, that great physician who removes the deepest cause of suffering. The suffering that we have in samsara, the sole cause is raga. Due to raga, we suffer. Due to dvesha, we suffer. These two things must be removed. Then wherever we might live, the mind will be prasanna. No danger from me to the world, no danger from world to me. Otherwise, I will be a danger to the world and world will be a danger to me. Yasmanno dvijate lokaha, lokanno dvijate chayaha. Harsha, amarsha, bhaya, udvegaihi. Mukto yas sachame priya. You can say this Sthita Prajna is the most integrated person. In his presence, nobody fears. In his presence, he has no fear of anyone. There is no danger from him. So when you take sannyasa, abhayam sarvabhutebhyah. The sannyasi gives abhayam. No more fear from me. No one should fear. So that freedom, he becomes completely free. He is fearless and no fear from him also. So prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasya upajayate. When the mind becomes tranquil in the real samadhi state, born of tattvajnana. Tattvajnana is samadhi. Yoga Vasishta says tattvatma bodha evaiha sarva asha trinapavakaha prokta samadhi shabdena natu tushnim avasthitihi. Samadhi is not sitting like a rock. Samadhi means what? Tattvajnana is samadhi. What is tattvajnana? Ramana Bhagavan says tane tattva. To be aware of one's existence, the I am within, that is tattvajnana. To be aware of the chit is tattvajnana. The moment the mind just turns inward and becomes aware of the inner flame, that is Tattvajnana. Prasade Tattvajnana, when the mind turns inward and beholds that existence, that Chidvastu, that Aham, 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 that is Tattvajnana. The Tvampada is known as Tatpada. And the Tvampada, the Jiva, when the mind turns inward and recognizes that it is like Gadakasha is Mahakasha. Inside the pot, the space is not imprisoned. It is the infinite space. Like that, the existence inside, the I am, it is infinite. It is Purna. It is bodiless. It is mindless. It is pranaless. No boundary, no limitation. It is the limitless existence. Once that recognition happens, that like this it happens, then Hanihi, all the dukkhas are removed. That is Anugraha, The Kripa means what? Your association with the unreal collapses. And in one moment, you are established in the real. Then the Chitta becomes Prasanna. Prasanna Chitta. Buddhihi Paryavatishthate. The Buddhi Avatishthate means it abides. Atmaswarupenaiva Nishali Bhavati. Shankaracharya translate. What is this Paryavatishthate? Atmaswarupena Nishali Bhavati. The Buddhi becomes absolutely quiet, because as the school vacation starts, exam is over, quiet. Everything is thrown away. Like that, the Buddhi's exam continues till it gets convinced about the self. Once it is convinced, it decides no more job. Pani leduvadu. Ramana Bhagavan says, no more work. Kritakrityata, all the work over. Nothing to do, nothing to attain, nothing to achieve, nothing to know. The thirst for knowledge comes to an end. The thirst to do comes to an end. The thirst to attain comes to an end. The thirst to achieve comes to an end. The intellect, the brain comes to a strange state of absolute relaxation, Vishranti. Very, very great relaxation. It becomes Ha Vu. That Samagana, the Samaveda says Ha Vu. Why Ha Vu? Ahamannam. Ahamannada. I am the world, I am the seer of the world. I am the body, I am the seer of the body. No difference, no discrimination. Atma alone exists, no Anatma. No non-self. Now work, no more sadhana, no more strain, no more stress. The spiritual work is over. Prasanna chetasaha. When the mind really becomes quiet, it just crosses the gravitational pull of body, Maya. It gets the escape velocity to go beyond. It just goes out. Nothing can pull it down. That rare muhurta, Shubha muhurta, it just crosses the boundary of all limitations and goes and merges in the infinite. It merges in the infinite space. Buddhi paryavatishthate evam prasanna chetasaha avasthita buddhehe. When the mind becomes prasanna, when a realized person comes, how can one recognize him? By that prasannata. Samudrasyeva gambhiryam. Yoga Vasishta says, a majesty comes in him, a profoundness comes in him, like deep ocean. Samudrasyeva gambhiryam. Sthiryam meroriva sthitihi. Like unshakable state, like Meru mountain, the Mount Meru. Sthiryam meroriva sthiti. I have attained, that's all. That achievement is perfect. Anta Shitalatacha Indoho. The heart is so cool. Ramana Bhagavan says, Chittam Kulira. The heart is so cool, peaceful, Shanti. even amidst a war, even while some dear one is dead, Marana Utsava Yuddheshu, during Marana, during Utsava, celebration everywhere, there also the brain is quiet, the mind, ego is quiet, the body is there, it is having its prarabdha, no identity at all. That kind of purnatva is the state of a Jivan Mukta, and that Jivan Mukti sthiti here Shankaracharya says Kritakrityata. What we said, nothing more to do, nothing to achieve. Kritakrityata. Evam prasanna chetasaha avasthita buddhehe. The buddhi becomes avasthitam. Sthitam means stable, abides. Avasthitam, swarupe sthitam, kritakrityata. Yataha tasmad, hence, ragadvesha viyuktairindriyehi. When that state comes, the Jivan Mukta works in the world according to his prarabdha. According to his prarabdha, he also lives. Because after Nirvikalpa Samadhi, after attaining that realization, again he has to come down and finish the job that is waiting. The body, see, Ramana Bhagavan says, for whatever reason the body has come, it has to finish it. That prarabdha will be different for every jnani. Every jnani will be unique, no imitation stuff, all unique, separate. So, for fulfilling that, he will come down. You can see this phenomenon in all realized saints. Even with Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, you can see in formal race, he was sitting in Arunachaleshwara temple inside the Patala Lingam, then under that tree, a big tree, Lupai Maram inside. Then he was taken to Gurumurtam, where he stayed in absolute samadhi. He used to say, sometimes when I open my eyes, it will be daytime. Sometimes when I open my eyes, it will be night time. That state. And he was unable to stand because no strength in the body, no food, nothing is eaten. Never opens the eyes. Very rarely opens the eyes. Then slowly a will arose. From where? A will arose that it should not be left like this. Then that will took over the body. He started going out for bhiksha. Then also he was most of the times will be sitting still. Then he came to the town and started staying in Arunagirinatha temple. From there he went to up the hill, Pavilakundru, Virupaksha Guha, everywhere. There also many hours he will be sitting. Those who have seen him in Virupaksha cave, they say, we never thought it was a human being. He was like a bronze statue, like a statue made of burnished gold. He used to sit hours and hours and hours without any movement. Everyone was fascinated by that state, except only one person. And that one person is Ramana Bhagavan. He was not fascinated by that state. Slowly he came down. He came down to Ramanashramam and he started moving with people, cooking food, sitting, but he was not always in that unconscious looking samadhi. He will be aware, he will be Leenadhirapi Jagrati. One Swamiji has written about Bhagavan, Siddheshwarananda. He has written about Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. He will be sitting unmoved as if he is not hearing. But they will be chanting Vedas. If they make a single mistake, he will look there and correct them. He will look as if he is not hearing. And there he quotes Viveka Chudamani. That Swamiji has quoted Viveka Chudamani saying, Leenadhihi, the buddhi is completely merged in the self. But Jagrati, he is awake. Jagrat dharma vivarjitaha, no vasanas of the waking state. Leenadhirapi Jagrati, Jagrat dharma vivarjinaha. Bodho nirvasano yasya. His awareness is free of all vasanas. Sa Jivan Mukta Uchyate. Such a person is a Jivan Mukta. So, that state was amazed. Everyone was seeing that state only. Muruganar sings, Vinnavargalum Vandu Nindru Vanangum. That Satyamangala Vengatramana, what is it? Devargalum Vandu Vanangum Vaibhavam. All the devas, the celestials, they came down to see that state. Shankaracharya says even Indra, the gods of devas, comes to see such a Brahmavit, such a Tattvavit. So that is the state. Here says that is not, he is completely merged in Samadhi. No, you cannot, whether a Samadhista is a Jnani, you cannot say. Sometimes Jada Samadhi will be there, Yoga Samadhi will be there, will be merged, but Jnana will not be there. But Jnana is when you are awake, when you are completely conscious, and Bhagavan never recommended people to remain like him. Echammal, one of his devotees, she used to sit for 5 hours without moving. Such a state happened to her, and many used to say, oh, Echammal has achieved that. Bhagavan asked one of his devotees to take her for Giri Pradakshina and tell her this Vedanta Tattva, Atma Tattva. Let her become aware, become alert. She should not enter into that Layasthiti. You can remain in Layasthiti for many, many years, but without Jnana. So Jnana is important. Atma Jnana is important. And Bhagavan has said that without this outer Samadhi also a person can be a perfect Jnani. Just he gets it like this and he is established there, that's all. So that perfect Jnana is important. That Jnana makes one distinguishes a person. So here says that Prasanna Chetasa, when the mind is quiet, intellect is sufficiently peaceful, then it abides in the Paryavatishthate, Swarupena Avatishthate. Atma Swarupena iva Nishali Bhavati. It becomes Nishala Tattve Jivan Mukti. When the intellect becomes Nishalam, the person is a Jivan Mukta, an enlightened being who is free here and now. So here Bhagavan Bhashyakara says Nishali Bhavati. Atma Swarupena Nishali Bhavati. The mind, now it is, ego Swarupena. It is always Chanchalam. I am that, I do this, I do that, I want this. This is the mind's constant murmuring. And that mind abides as the self, as Aham Brahma. Brahmaiva Aham. I am that Brahman. And Brahman is me. There is no difference. I am the self. No ignorance that I am this person, this body, this world is real. That is gone. Then what happens? Krita Krityata. You have accomplished what is the highest. Nothing more to do. Tasmat ragadvesha viyuktaihi indriyaihi. Devoid of attachment and aversion. Shastra aviruddheshu. Avarjaniyeshu yuktaha samacharet. Whatever the Shastras prescribe, in that track, a Jivan Mukta Purusha also moves about. Not according to his fancies. Shastra means what? Whatever is not harmful to others, whatever is not, he will not yateshtachara. He will not move about as he pleases. There is a question. A Jivan Mukta has no ego. So why not he do things which are nishiddha, prohibited? Shankaracharya puts a very beautiful argument. He says, see, who becomes a Jivan Mukta? A Tattvajnani. How does a Tattvajnani attain Tattvajnana? By Shravana. Before Shravana, what does he do? He does tremendous upasana. Before upasana, what does he do? He does karmanushtana by phalarpana. Then what is his state? Yes, yama, niyama, sadachara, everything he follows. See, even as an ignorant sadachara, he cannot commit a mistake. Then how can you expect a realized person to commit a mistake? And if a realized person, if you know that he is a Jivan Mukta, he knows Tattva with, if there is a mistake in his body, Shastra has two explanations. One is it is Bhoga Vasana, it is only to finish. Second, it is like a tsunami or something hits and does something. It is like that. It has nothing to do with him. It is only for the Lokakshema, for the Lokamangala. Ishvara's activity. It is not his activity. So this argument generally we don't do, because this people can misuse. A person is Jivan Mukta, so he can do anything. He will not do. Generally it is impossible. Even if you see some chamatkara in Tamil, Ozhivil Odukam, Kannudaya Vallalar says, Yanai Madamanal Shadiragam. This elephant is a very majestic creature. Sometimes it gets madam. Rut, beautiful. When the elephant is in rut, then that looks more majestic. There will be great majesty in it. That is called Shadir. In this Shadir, there is a dance called Shadiratam. While following all the rules of dance, they will dance. Inside, they will do some improvise something and transcend the rules. But transcending the rules are all within this compound, within this limitation. They sometimes, even music also there is called Swara Bheda, Shruti Bheda, Swara Bheda. They do this inside the musical circle. It's done by very great musicians, and that is Alagagam. That is a kind of master touch. Nai Madamanal Tagumo. And Kannudaya Vallalar says, when the elephant gets rut, that is different. But if a dog behaves like that, they will kill that dog. Like that. So, like that, in a realized person, when there is a kind of appears as if the tala is gone. Like when you see Shankaracharya's life, you say when he goes in Kashi, a Chandala comes. In the story, many people say Shankaracharya said, move away. And the Chandala asked who to. That story looks beautiful. In a perfect jnani, a small flaw-like thing is also beautiful. In Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, you see Rama weeping, screaming. That is very beautiful. And Lakshmana advises him. Even Sugriva gives him advice. See, I am so much composed. Why are you crying like this? Ask that Sugriva. And Rama says, you have done great upakara for me by giving me this advice. So that looks very beautiful like that. So some kind of wrong steps, if you see in Jnani, that is also beautiful, says that Kannudaya Vallalar. So that is not because of him. It is some unknown reason. Something can happen there, but that will be in between. It will not be his habit. You cannot say constantly he will be like that. Then that is madness. Somewhere you see something, that is Ishvara's work. That has nothing to do with his life. So that is here Shankaracharya later on says, because here he says Jnani will move only in Shastra aviruddheshu, avarjaniyeshu. He will not have any viruddha thing that Shastra has prohibited. Later on, Sarvakarmanyapi Sadakurvano Madhyapashrayaha. That Gita Shloka, all the actions. There Shankaracharya adds one word, Nishiddhani api, he says. Sometimes Nishiddha also. Then contradiction comes between Bhashyas. That means in the realized sage, such things, Bhagavata comes. He is like a child. He will not do something because Shastra is prescribed. He will not go back because Shastra is prohibited. He moves about as his heart is dictating. We also say this, but for us it is dangerous because the mind is operating. But for a jnani, that is a perfect state. For ordinary people, as long as the mind is operating, whatever comes from within I will do, you will go into samsara, deep mire. So here, that Shastra aviruddeshu avarjaniyeshu yuktaha samacharet. Yuktaha san, abiding in the self, he works in the dharma patha. Whatever that body has come to the world to do, that he does. So next shlokam, next verse. Nasti buddhira yuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayata shantihi ashantasya kutas sukham. Nasti buddhihi ayuktasya. One who is not a yukta. One who is not samahita antahkarana, says Shankaracharya. One who has not known the Atmaswarupa. Buddhihi Atmaswarupa Vishaya. The Buddhi means Atmajnana. One who is not a yogi, Atmajnana is impossible. When his body, mind, everything is not harmonious, when his senses are not controlled, when the mind is not sufficiently quiet, when sadhana chatushtaya sampatti is not there, nasti buddhihi. He has no buddhi. Buddhi means atmajnana. Buddhi doesn't mean Amba Buddhishali. He is very intellectual. No, in my childhood, I was always dull in mathematics. So all elderly people will say, you have no buddhi. They will say, see, he has so much buddhi because he is so sharp in maths. What to do? I always doubted why should 1 plus 1 be 2? Why not 1? I'm just joking that much thing, I had no interest in it. So, they used to say buddhi means max. Then, I became, at last, till I read Ramakrishna, I was feeling I have no buddhi. Then when I read Ramakrishna, first time I read, Ramakrishna could not even calculate certain small arithmetic. He used to ask, why should you use so much logic? Recently I heard, one boy telling his mother, this mathematics is not a science, mother, it is a religion, he says. Mother said, why are you telling? See, 1 plus 1, 2. Why 2? You have to believe it. You should not question. Why should 1 plus 1 be 2? Why not 4? No, it is 2. You have to have faith in it. See, this is religion. And he is an American boy. He says, I am no religion person, so I don't want to go to school. So I liked it very much because math, it is very revealing statement. Mathematics is a religion. You have to believe 4 plus 4, 8. So buddhi is not that. Buddhi is not to know about outer things. You don't need buddhi for that. It is prakriti. Any creature knows it. In fact, the animals are more buddhishalis than us. When they have some disease, they can identify the medicine and eat it. So their buddhi is very, very helpful. Their buddhi is more powerful. They can live without money, without house. See, we can live only with all this. Just imagine who is more buddhishali. A bird lives in a tree, sings, no school, no college, no studies, no books, no computer, very happy, even no crematorium, no cemetery, nowhere to put the body, and we do not know where the body vanishes and all these birds die. They have such highly developed system of living, and whom do you call as buddhishali? So outer world, they are more buddhishalis than us. They easily get food. See, we have to train to become vegetarians. Natural food, everything. They know what to eat. Their intellect helps them very perfectly to live in this world. So that is not buddhi. What we call as buddhi here for human mind is Atma Jnanam, says Shankaracharya. When the buddhi intellect turns inward towards the heart and realizes the truth, that is buddhi. So, இந்த இடத்துல நோட் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கோங்க. இது போட்டிருக்கோமா பார்க்கணும். அந்த இடத்துல நாஸ்தி புத்திரயுக்த ஆத்மா ஜானம் போட்டிருக்கோம். நாஸ்தி புத்திரயுக்தஸ்ய. When the person is not yukta, actually yukta is defined various ways, to keep the mind in the self, abide in the self is yukta, we said. Yada viniyatam chittam atmanyeva avatishthate nispriha sarvakamebhyo yukta ityuchyate tada. That is the perfect definition of yukta state, yoga sthiti in Gita. But here it seems a state where the body, mind, everything, senses, everything cooperates so that the inner flame remains unflickering. That is the state of yukta. Through karmanushtana, through upasana, through right kind of living, it's like, as Buddha says, if you tighten the strings of a veena too much, the strings will break. If you allow them to stay very loose, you cannot play music. So the strings are kept in such a way that they are tuned in right modulation. What will say? Enna pandrathu? Frequency. In that right frequency, then music happens. That kind of state is what a sadhaka achieves through his striving. That Buddha also, ultimately he also says madhyama marga, the middle path. And that madhyama marga is what Gita says, yukta ahara viharasya yukta cha, everything middle. Neither this extreme nor that extreme. All these extremes, they will give you applause. You stay without food, everybody says, ah ha ha ha. And then after that you feel ashamed to eat, because this fame will go. I have fame because I am not eating. Then you don't sleep. Then people say, ha 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 ha. They go and sleep and come and praise you. He will never sleep, We have to sleep 10 hours, but he will not sleep. And then you feel ashamed to sleep. So beware of these kind of people. So these are all foolishness, Everything kept in the middle path means yukta, means whatever suits you, whatever is moderate to you, whatever helps you to bring that inner music. You tune your system in such a way. It needs all your life striving. In the old nun, woman monk, Shabari, she is waiting for a vision, darshan of Rama. And Rama enters her ashram. And that old party, that very old lady, whole body is, Valmiki says, shivering, like a plant in wind. Pravate kadali yatha. And Rama goes and have a conversation with her. There Rama asks that old lady, he asks whether you have achieved this state, where your food is controlled, where your sleep is in moderation, where your mind has achieved this prasanna sthiti. Just imagine, he is asking to a great tapaswini who has lived with Matanga Maharshi at perhaps her age is more than 100. At that age, Rama is asking, apite manasas sukham, apite niyatah kopaha. Have you come to a state where you have complete holding of your anger, control of your anger? Have you reached a state where you have found right food, right sleep? You have found the right moderation. He is asking that old lady. So just think, she is staying in the forest, all her life striving. That much jagrata is necessary, in the spiritual life. Too much alertness, and we have to start from where we are, not looking at some ideals, reading some books will help, but again we have to apply it in our life and see how it works. So all these things constitute the word yukta. It is written in the books. Put it in you and see whether it is yukta. It is very dangerous when we see only books or see others. See, even medical, all these reports, I think they are finding through analysis, through many bodies. But you cannot say all the bodies are same. That is the common problem that people are saying now. But we are afraid, so we cannot do anything. So there also one has to find out how to live, how to bring in moderation, not to go about ready-made things. Everywhere too much. See, that is the joy. Actually, if we will ask, if all these things I have to do, how will I work? And sages have only one answer. This is the only work for which you have come. Why not live like birds? Why not live like animals and do this work so that you will have real joy? Otherwise, you will make a millionaire, build so many houses and die as a pauper. No shanti, misery. Very famous person, celebrity. Everybody says, everybody knows my name. What is the use for me? Just imagine. Millions of followers. I do not know even the name of 50 people. They might be imagining something about me. It is not going to help anyway. I live in my body first. Second, I live in my prana. Third, I live in my mind. Fourth, I live in my intellect. Fifth, I live in my ego. And sixth, I live in myself. These steps are not put in order. You can become world famous. You can see all the celebrities and follow them, go near them and ask whether they are happy. They might outwardly put that appearance, but inwardly it will be very difficult. Many very famous people, they have told me that at a time we found that all this fame are humbug, useless. Because people who are more famous than us, they have died a worthless death. Napoleon Bonaparte, such a famous person, powerful person, when he says halt, 40,000 people will stand erect. Such a person in his old age, put in a jail, imprisoned in a room. He was walking in a narrow path. A old lady was coming opposite to him with water pitcher. He said, I am a king, move away from my path. She said, I am bringing water, this is my path, you move out of my way. That's all. He was shocked because he could order 40,000 people. Now a old lady says, move away my path from my path. That is the power that world gives. When you don't need the world, anyone to certify, you want only certificate of the inner being. The inner Lord tells you that you have arrived. The inner one tells you you are peaceful. You don't, inside a room, that is your empire. Inside a cave, you have found a samrajya. You are happy. Then it doesn't matter whether you are famous or you are not known by anybody. You are working in the world. This fame, it is an absurd thing. Many spiritual shipwrecks have happened because of hunting for fame. Spirituality is not fame. And these famous people are not spiritual. You cannot say all famous people are spiritual, and those sages who are well known, they never enjoyed this fame. Swami Vivekananda has bluntly said many places, it is foolishness. This so-called Gurudom, that well famous person, it's all humbug. Sitting under the banyan tree in Dakshineshwar and listening with amazement for that magnificent words of that poor Brahmin, that is my true form. He wrote in his last letters, he said, sitting under Ramakrishna, the illiterate Brahmin who was talking the highest teaching, that is my true form. So this is all nonsense. So buddhi means buddhi which helps you in Atma Jnana. First you can say buddhi means buddhi which tells you realizing God is the only purpose of life. If the buddhi is deluded, it will tell you make money, more money, more money, more money. You have millions of dollars, then you find somebody is more richer than you, cross him. Then what? Tatakyam, tatakyam, tatakyam. And while going in a car, you find in Chennai Mount Road side somebody sleeping in the road happily. You find, I cannot sleep without sleeping tablet. This person is happily sleeping here. Once, long back, a very rich person was taking me in a passenger train, electric train in Mumbai. Very crowded. That time, we used to go by train and give talks in Dombivli, many places, and come back by electric train. So that time I was going like that. It was very thickly, people were standing, no space to move. So this person was telling me, Swami, I am not able to sleep. Even with very rich, he was telling me, even with medicine, I am not able to sleep. I was very young at that time, not used to the ways of world also. I was not answering at that time. Then I looked around. I found that packed people. One person was standing in between two people and sleeping like this. Going in front, hitting the front person, coming back, hitting the back person, in between, snoring in that crowd. I just pointed out, see, even after so many years, he says that was a great Upadesha for me. If you are peaceful, you can sleep in standing in the electric train. If you are not peaceful, you cannot sleep even AC room, very comfortable, very beautiful room. No sleep. So that is prasanna. The mind, when it is ready to enter that state, the buddhi should tell you what matters in life. That is the first guru. Buddhi is the guru. The buddhi guides you that enough of this world. Now only God. you can say God, or like Buddha, you can say Nirvana, Bodhi, or Dukkha Hani, as Gita said, Dukkha Hani, removing sorrow, grief. Any stage you can decide, resolve. Now only that is my purpose. Somehow to find a state where I am peaceful. Shastras will give you hint. It tells you about the highest truth and about general rules. But you have to apply. The application is according to your prarabdha, according to your karma, according to your vasana. There you put it in such a way, like cooking, generally you have to make some sambar, rasam. Recipe is all same, but every hand differs. Every hand differs. We say we have a smell of that hand, fragrance of that hand. Like that, you have to apply it in your personal life, but the rule is all same. General rules are all same. Somehow find that treasure within you. Nidhi, Arul Nidhi. You have to find that treasure, that great blessing, that great auspiciousness, which will make you feel grateful that you are alive, which will make you feel grateful to the existence, grateful to Guru, grateful to scriptures, grateful to God. Yavadayustvaya vandyaha vedanto gururishwaraha. Shankaracharya says, as long as you are alive, even as a Jivan Mukta, with so much gratitude, you worship the Vedanta Shastra, the Guru who guided you, the Ishtadevata whom you worshipped. Because so much gratitude wells up in the heart, because ultimately you have become free. You have touched the Sparshamani, which can transform you as gold. That purity has come. So that is the purpose of Buddhi. The Buddhi which is Yukta. The Buddhi which is yoked to truth. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. We already said Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. When the Buddhi is Vyavasayatmika, it leads you to the state of Samadhi. When the Buddhi is Avyavasayatmika, it becomes Bahushaka, various branched. It leads you to Vikshepa, to misery, to distraction, to a state, scattered state. Vikshubdhavastha, scattered state. But when the Buddhi is anchored to truth, it leads you slowly, leads you to the state of oneness. Integrity, that perfect order, harmony. And when you strive for that, life becomes sweeter. It becomes great blessing, auspiciousness, paramapujyata. It is called, such a person is called pada, Bhagavat pada, because he goes on walking in the divine path. He is always on the feet. On the feet. Charaiveti, 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 charaiveti. Every day it is like you are on the path of Bhagavan, path of moksha. So that is yukta. Buddhi becomes yukta. That is the first thing that we have to do. Convince the intellect that there is only one work. Convince the intellect there is only one path. Simplify the intellect. When you do research, PhD thesis, the first thing that they give you is narrowing down the topic. Don't do a large topic. You will never arrive at any conclusion. So you narrow down the topic and simplify the whole thing. So like that, in spiritual life also, simplifying two things we have to do. One is we have to decide our path, our Guru, our Parampara, our Shastra, what is according to our line, moderation. Then next thing is you should close your intellect from distractions, becoming scattered, knowing so many things, because these days we have this mobile. All the dirt will come and you will get unloaded in you. So, not pricking unwanted things from there. Just leave it, simplify the whole thing, and intensely, inwardly, you are dynamic, you are active. Then the buddhi becomes saphala. That buddhi becomes a devata. No? That buddhi becomes a devata. She becomes Sharada Parameshwari. Buddhir Bhavani Prati Deha Geham. Every body is a house, and there this buddhi is Bhavani. Atma Tvam Girija Matihi. Atma is Shiva, and this Girija, Devi, Divine Mother, is the buddhi, because she helps you to Shiva Shakti Aikya Rupinyai Namaha, Shiva Jnana Pradayinyai Namaha. She joins you with Shiva. She puts you in his lap. So there the buddhi becomes a great Anugraha Shakti. The buddhi, cleansed of all avidya, becomes a divine instrument. Actually, if you ask what is grace, kripa, what does it mean? It means the buddhi, cleansed of all dirt, becomes grace. It will be ever emanating grace. It will be ever showering blessing on you. It will be guiding you perfectly. It is not the brain. Buddhi is not brain. Buddhi, Hridayeshu Buddhi, says the Shastras. The Buddhi is in the heart. Heart, you cannot ask where the heart is. The real Buddhi is beyond everything. It guides you perfectly to the Purnavastha. So, if you are not really devout, moderate, in right master, right tradition, the Buddhi will not be right. Nasti buddhihi ayuktasya. And if you are not yoked to truth, your bhavana will not be about Bhagavan. It will be about world only. When you have only worldly goal, constantly ambition, your ambitious will be, you will be ambitious about world. You will dream about what your goal is. So, nacha ayuktasya bhavana. Nacha abhavayata shanti. If the bhavana is not about right thing, shanti will not be there. Ashantasya kutas sukham. If there is no peace, where is sukham? This is the question with which we have to stop today. We have to meditate all night about ashantasya kutas sukham. If there is no shanti, no sukham. Whatever you might achieve, ashantasya kutas sukham. This is the most important question of Gita. Ashantasya kutas sukham. You have money, no peace, what happiness? You are famous, no peace, what happiness? You are prosperous, what happiness? You are strong, what happiness? Even if you are healthy, what happiness? If there is no peace. So, ashantasya kutas sukham. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Yato mamatma bhavasi tvameva, tato na vachyam mama kinjidasti, yathata veshtam kurumam tathaiva tvam Atmanatham Brahmanam Bhajami.